Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, were Metropolitan Police officers deceiving some of the country's leading judges, hiding the extent of their secret infiltration inside political groups? Tomorrow, Lord Pitchford's public inquiry hears arguments on whether to identify undercover officers involved in decades of infiltration. This programme has seen legal submissions by peace campaigners claiming 2 undercover officers were involved in stopping their protests going ahead, a police operation later declared unlawful. Our senior Home Affairs correspondent Simon Israel has this exclusive report.
Started at around about 6 o'clock our time.
Back in March 2003, as part of the Stop the War campaign, 3 coachloads of protesters set off for the Fairford airbase. They numbered 130. All the way they were monitored by police from the outside, and they now believe there were undercover officers spying on them from the inside. One was known to some of them as Rod Richardson. This photo, they say, is of him, taken a year or 2 before that protest. They say he was seated in the first coach of this convoy as it wound its way into a town in Gloucestershire near the US airbase to be met with a huge police presence. So big, the officers drafted in from 7 different forces outnumbered protesters by 3 to 1. Acting on intelligence, there were troublemakers known as the Wombles on board. Police searched everyone and everything.
Nothing in here that's going to hurt me or you? No? Anything sharp in here at all?
I've got keys.
I have to ask you to identify what ethnic group you're from.
They confiscated scarves, pieces of foam, rope, a hammer, a saw and a frisbee. There were no arrests, and 13 years on, Jane Laporte, who was on one of the coaches, wants to know to what degree Rod Richardson and another undercover officer played in all of this.
The action that the police took against us on that day, they said, related to the suspicions they had around a particular group of people who were on the coaches. It now turns out that one of those handful of people is almost certainly an undercover officer. So if they were party to the precise plans on that day, why do they have to take such a heavy-handed approach on 120 people going to Fairford?
The protesters were never allowed to reach the airbase, and in 2006 the law lords, in a groundbreaking case, declared this police operation unlawful.
Hey, this is a moving vehicle. He wants to talk to your senior officer.
The fundamental human right to freedom of expression had been breached. The ruling established the right to protest. Zoe Young was another on the coaches that day. She spent the next decade trying to get justice without ever knowing about the undercover role.
What is most upsetting and egregious about this situation is that we had police, secret police, on the buses originally with us. Then the police kept that fact secret throughout the court cases that ensued from their decisions that day. And now, even when we have a public inquiry exploring what went on, they're still trying to keep secret.
The Metropolitan Police, in a statement, would neither confirm nor deny Rod Richardson's identity as an undercover officer. It said,
"The policy of neither confirming or denying such information has been considered by the courts and found to be necessary to protect the identities of those who work or have worked in covert roles, often in difficult and dangerous situations."
And that's the tricky question facing Lord Pitchford, who's chairing this inquiry. At a hearing here tomorrow, lawyers will do battle over just how far this inquiry should go in identifying some 100 or so undercover officers. 13 names are now in the public domain, but the Met Police argue the risk is too great and will endanger the lives of others so far unnamed. The protesters argue, what's the point of a public inquiry if it's not open and transparent? And the Fairford case may be an example of how so much remains hidden.
Simon Israel reporting.
I've been getting away with it